What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of Positively Uncensored, your favorite reality TV and interview podcast. It's your host, Leah. Trust fans, not trust fans, people who love entertainment, this episode is for you. I'm joined by Tolú from The Trust on Netflix, and I'm so excited you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Even virtually, me and Tolú are friends already, so this feels like just like a chat sesh.
Yeah, no, we're besties. This is literally just gonna be like girl chat, like a kiki session between the ladies. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and all of you are fortunate enough to get to listen, so that's the tea.
You want to be a fly on this wall, honey.
100%, because we're gonna get into anything, everything, and anything in between. So everybody get your phones out really quick, pull up Instagram. Tolú, where can they follow you? Or what's your user?
On all social platforms, baby, I'm on everything. You can find me at Tolú Ekundare. That's TOLUEKUNDARE. It's my first and last name. Follow me, guys. Let's be friends.
Follow her on TikTok. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter. Don't follow her if you're a hater. Like,
don't do that.
Then you can sit this one out. Then you sit this one out.
Kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
Okay. I'm going to be... Laura, you did something with that one line.
No, she ate with that.
One line.
No.
Fine.
When I tell you that all my haters, that is the little line that they're getting. Oh, baby, you could kick rocks with open-toed shoes on.
100%. And if one rock happens to fly up in the air and you swallow it and you're that's on you.
Bon appetit, baby. Bon appetit.
Eat rocks, kick rocks, eat rocks, all of it.
Eat rocks. Get out of here.
We don't care.
That part.
So first of all, let's start with how you've been, because The Trust was a chaotic show. The reaction of people watching The Trust was chaos. So where are you now?
Oh, right now, I am in my happy place. I am living my bestest life. Like, life post-Trust has been incredible. Despite the fact that I would like to say that my reception was very polarized. You either love me or you hate me. There were very few in between. But I've learned, like, taking from all of this, I've learned, baby, just focus on the positive. The people that love you, obviously they have sense. That they're well intelligent, like, individuals, smart thinking. They watch the show with a brain in their mind. So I'm like, those are the people that you want to focus on. And everybody else, I'm so sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Everybody else that had, like, these nasty negative things to say, oh, baby, you thought you was gonna hurt me? Your words do not hurt me, because why should a lion care about the opinions of a sheep? You are a sheep, just bang. Like, you do nothing for me.
Like, go back to your little herd, go back to your flock, talk some shit, get your little shepherd to get you out of the way, because we're roaming and I'll eat you.
Now, eat you. Like, go back to your herd mentality, because obviously all of you just share one brain, one singular brain cell. So, you know what? I love that for you guys, but go ahead and, like Laura said, kick rocks with open-toed shoes.
And this is what I'm thinking. I heard someone say the other day that people watch reality TV, and, like, let's just point out that the idea to make a crossover between, like, a reality competition show, which has, like, minimal competitions, and then, like, focusing on the reality portion, I knew that was a mess from the fucking beginning. Squid Games kind of did the same thing. It's like, we saw the challenges, but people were like, no, like, God forbid you put yourself first and you want to leave with this money, and
it's so stupid to me.
It's really, like, so stupid, because that's the purpose of the game.
And I will just say, y'all, like, everybody who hated me at The Trust, y'all are so very lucky I wasn't in Squid Games, because The Trust was just, like, for a portion of $250K. Baby, if I was going for $4+ million, y'all thought I was a bitch then? You thought I only cared about myself then?
100%. Like, I'm sorry. If the opportunity is my family,
my
or
real
you,
family.
Yes, like or not you, but like like someone I don't know.
Strangers, you strangers.
Strangers. And even if I know you for a couple weeks, that's good. At the end of this, if I have that much money, I'll send you 60K. I'll send you something because we went through it together, maybe more. But I'm winning. Like, I'm winning this for me. Like,
Oh,
I'm
no
the same
questions
way.
asked. I feel like a lot of people, and I don't know how to say this well, but like I feel like this is what separates like those. I don't know how to say this right, but like please edit this out. Okay, so I feel like this is what kind of separates like the lions from the sheep. All right, so the sheep have the mindset of, oh, I don't want to piss off the other people. Like, let me not put myself first because I would hate for other people to feel offended by me putting myself first. Whereas a lion has the mindset of, I am the main character of my life, of my story. I'm going to put myself first. Like, I refuse to put myself in a detrimental situation solely to just appease the mindset of the masses. No, baby, I want to appease myself. And
Absolutely.
I feel like these games, these games and just being on reality TV, that's when you know that there's a lot of people with the herd mindset where they're like, how dare you place yourself, or how dare you put yourself first? You should be thinking about the entire group. Well, I don't know if y'all know this, but in life, we're all going through life individually. Like, I have my life, Leah, you have your life, everybody else has their lives, and it's not to say that like we can't help each other along the path and go where we want to go, but at the end of the day, you have to recognize that as the main character of your life, you have to put yourself first in certain situations. And it's not like, and I feel like, yes, it's selfish, but to me, selfishness is not always a negative characteristic. It's not always a negative trait. Like,
yes,
if I don't put myself first, and I don't think about, okay, is this going to be for the benefit of Tolú? Who's going to be thinking like that? Nobody.
Absolutely.
And so you would just be putting yourself at a detriment just because you don't want to upset the masses. Baby, fuck the masses. Like, fuck the
Literally.
masses. It's all about me. I'm so sorry. And I know a lot of people hate that, but as a recovering people pleaser, and trust me, I used to be in the mindset of the masses. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to offend my fellow neighbor. How dare I put myself first?
Absolutely.
There are all these other people that are behind me. And I used to go around with that mindset of, you know what? I want to live my life to please others. That became exhausting. That
Absolutely
became just draining. And I finally got to a point in my life where I realized, like, okay, you've been putting others first your entire life, and what has that gained you? Like, yeah, other people are happy, but are you happy? No. And in my life, my happiness is paramount. Sorry. Like, that and I can only speak for me because this is my life. And in my life,
Absolutely.
my happiness, that should be at the forefront. So once I entered that mindset, I was like, you know what? I refuse to live my life to please others. I refuse to live my life so that other people can say, oh, good job, Tolú. No. I look in the mirror and I'm like, ooh, good job, Tolú. You did your thing. That's the baddest bitch I know is the one that looks back at me when I look in the mirror. And she is the one whose opinion matters the most to me. That part.
Yes.
If she's proud of me, then baby, I've done what I need to do. So now I live my life to please myself, to make myself happy. And obviously, it doesn't make the masses happy, but you know what? Like I said before, fuck the masses. It's I'm sorry. And this is the Tolú show.
And I would, first of all, love that. Second of all, I would encourage and empower everybody. Like, I was going to bring this up and you kind of hit on it, which is great. As someone who's a recovering people pleaser, plug Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Dr. Nedra Glover Tawwab. That book allowed me to stop putting myself last and say yes to things I'm uncomfortable with, say yes to things that hurt me, put myself last is in terms of energy because I'm so busy expelling to the world, and then I have nothing for myself, and you, it's, don't you get tired, people? Don't you get a little bit tired at times? Like you said, it's draining. You can't live your life for others and seldom it's appreciated, seldom it's reciprocated, and ultimately it feels like a lot of people resent the fact that others have already been through so much that they stop and they say, this is the line in the sand. I'm done. Me and you share traumas and we share this happening, but the difference is, like, I can't keep doing this. Like, it's destroying me. And people resent that. Well, I keep going through it. I accept this treatment. I would do that. So why don't you? Why can't you do that?
And I feel like what's really funny is that's a lot of the negative perception. That's the narrative that surrounds it. Like, oh, you come from poverty. You're not the only one that comes from a poor background, but I'm not there thinking about myself and stealing from others. Like,
you're not there, period. So you can stop right there.
That part. First and foremost, you're not there. But second of all right, so you're saying that your decision for yourself, even though you understand your circumstances and where you are and what can help you better your life, you still make the conscious decision to not do that and to, again, put others before yourself. Baby, that's you. I love that for you. I claps for you. I love that for you. But you see how that's your life. See, in my life, I've decided I'm cutting that off because I'm not gonna lie to you. What's really funny is, so a lot of comments that I get is, oh, you're so full of yourself. Everything's you. You don't care about anybody else. And I'm like, as much as y'all want that to be an insult, I take that as a compliment because that really shows how much I've grown. Like, Leah, when I tell you that I used to be the biggest people pleaser. Yes. And it would always be at the detriment of myself, of my needs, of my wants. And then it got to a point where I looked around and I was like, I do so much, I give so much, I pour so much into those around me, and I'm looking around and I feel empty, I feel lonely. Like, as I'm pouring into others, who's filling my cup back up? I didn't have that. And that took me a time. I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what, Tolú? Today is the last day that you're going to sit there and put yourself last in line. Today is the day that you're going to finally place yourself as priority. And y'all, Leah, when I tell you that this is a change that recently happened, this is going on like less than 2 years. This is less than 2 years of a change. So for people to come around and be like, oh, you're so full of yourself, you're always putting yourself first, I'm just like, thank you. No, I worked really hard to finally get into that space. So thank you.
Yes. And two, like, you know, I would just challenge people to think about the fact that, like, you know, I can also relate to not having a lot of money growing up. So if you ask me, hey Leah, how many times did you get asked in your life an opportunity to win $73,000? I would say not once. If you asked me how many times would you take that opportunity if it was right in front of you, I would say every single time.
Every single time.
This game is so disproportionately, because we're going to talk about it, like we'll get into it. It's disproportionately unfair for marginalized people of color, period. It's not a secret that there is a bit of a privilege and luxury as a white person to just be trusting of not only authority, but just in general, out in public. You know, it's you feel this certain sense of entitlement and privilege, and I'm safe and others are safe around me.
And you know, I talked about that on the show. I said, okay, so this whole thing is about trust. What a and I feel like a lot of people, they got this wrong, because, you know, my little one-liner that you either loved or you hated, we should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
My favorite line of the entire show.
I was like, you either
Favorite.
loved it or you hated it. I got so much love and so much hate for it. But the reasoning behind it, like the whole meaning behind it is, okay, this is a game of trust. Who do you have? You have women, white women, black women, you have white men, like, and then you're telling us, all right, this is a game of trust. Just trust people. Who has the privilege of walking around and just innately trusting people?
Yes.
Men.
White men. Yes.
Especially white men. Because as a woman, whether I'm black, white, whatever, as a woman, I don't have that luxury to just go around and be like, I trust everyone. Everyone is my friend. No, because the world is dangerous.
Yes.
The world is very dangerous, especially for women, especially for a black woman. But let's even take away the fact that I'm a black woman. Let's just talk about women in general. The world is a fucking dangerous place. If I see a man walking, if I'm walking this way and I see a man walking this way and I just feel like, this possibly isn't safe, I have to cross the street to ensure my safety. How many men have to walk through the world and wear those kind of glasses like, oh, this lady's walking down the street, maybe I should cross the street for my safety? I promise you, it's few. It's slim and few.
And for the men who... Oh, I'm sorry. You keep going first.
No, girl, you talk. Because
I just wanted to say, the men will cry misandry. They will cry misandry, and they will say that, you know, we hate men. And then those same men, if you were to ask them, you know, who starts wars? Who's killing? If your wife is going to go to a scary part of the city, or your partner's going to a scary part of the city, who are you worried about attacking them? Is it
even
women? It's men.
Thank you. Yes. Even amongst men, who are men scared of?
Who are men worried about? Men.
Other men. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all have
don't
that
act
ability.
like you don't know.
Heavy on that. Don't feign ignorance, because it's not cute. It's not becoming. You have the unique circumstance to be able to walk around the earth. Like, you know, there was an episode that talks about, is trust earned or is trust given? I said my trust must be earned.
Yes.
All of the men said that their trust is just innately given. That spoke a lot to me, because all of the women said that their trust must be earned. We, even though we're walking on the same earth, we are living completely different lives. Completely different. You have the privilege to walk around and be like, I trust everyone, because who should I fear? Whereas we as women, baby, everybody, or at least to me, I'm sorry, you are an enemy until or not an enemy, but you're not going to be my friend until proven that you're friendly. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to come up to you and be like, friendship. Like, no. Because I have to protect myself, and this is how I protect myself. I am, what's the word? I am stingy with who I give my trust to.
As we should be.
That's how I've been able to protect myself. And
it's survival. And it's like, do people not, you know, like we survive in this world, we exist in this world by doing certain things. And you know what? It's a challenge to say to people, because I'm really into like the psychology of things. If you're someone who looks at Tolú and says, how dare you do that and take that opportunity, you should be bending over backwards for people, you know, like, I wouldn't do that, I treat people nice, you are also doing that to survive. And ask yourself how you feel that people are constantly expecting that of you. Do you ever get tired? And what would happen for 10 seconds if you react? Suddenly, will you understand, Tolú? Like, will you know what I mean? Like, just ask yourself, everybody's surviving. So if you survive your way and don't want to be chastised for how you get through the world, why ever criticize another woman? Why?
Precisely. Oh, you hit the nail on the head. And again, that's coming from a recovering people pleaser. Because I lived that life where I was like, okay, you know what? In order to protect myself, let me make myself really likable. Let me just be the version of Tolú that is going to appeal to you guys the most. Yeah. Even if it's not truly how I feel, who I am, even if it's kind of sucking the life out of me, let me just be this person so that you can feel comfortable and you can feel safe. Even if it's at the expense of me. And now that I'm in my grown and sexy era, I'm like, you know what? I really truly don't give a fuck how you feel. I am going to be 100,000% unapologetically myself. And if you love me for it, great. I love you too. If you don't love me for it, then baby, there's the door. I won't even say don't let the door hit you. It can hit you if it wants. Like,
That's
but
fine.
there's the door.
It can hit you. You might trip. I don't know. Once you're out, you're out. Bye-bye.
Once you're out, you're out. Tunnel vision.
You're out.
There is no rear view mirrors in this car, baby. We just going forward.
And
we're not looking back.
I'm jumping around a little, but I have to ask, even Jake, I'm going to first say my opinion and then ask you. Either he's completely performative and a great actor and delivered a speech, or he also had a moment of sincerity, of understanding, went home, saw people's response to watching him, and completely said, no, the masses say that I was right. I change how I feel. And it's like, be fucking you, bro. If any point you thought that you were actually apologizing because you were wrong, to stay home, to go home and not stand on that and let your comments sway you.
Heavy on that. And then,
so what do you think? I mean, was it a performance art? Did he backtrack?
Honestly, I feel like no one's gonna know but Jake. Like,
Facts.
when I was in the moment, and then mind you, I think a lot of people, they're like, the rhetoric behind that whole scene scenario really still pisses me off, because I'm like, I don't think you guys understand. It's not just one instance of, oh, he called you African queen. How dare you be offended when you display yourself as an African woman? No. Shoot, my mama calls me African queen. I am an African queen. Like, I love that. But no, my issue with Jake was not that one singular comment that you were able to see on the television. Right. My issue with Jake was every single interaction, every single conversation with this man was always prefaced with my race, my skin color, or my ethnicity. Always. And then mind you, I'm in a house full of white people. Okay, Jake is not the only white person that I was around. Everybody else in that house, they were able to see me for me. Despite the fact that I wear African garbs, as people like to call it. African earrings or the African pendant. All the other white people in the house were able to see me more than just the African girl. They were like, oh, this is Tolú. Tolú is African. Tolú is Nigerian. But this is Tolú. Period.
Absolutely.
Whereas Jake, let me even tell you, girl, my very first interaction with Jake on that first day when we walked into the house, the very first comment that Jake says to me is, oh, wow, you look so cool. You look like a Wakanda warrior. And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like,
oh my God.
I said, you recognize that Wakanda is not a real country? It's a fictional country in the Marvel universe. I said, I'm from Nigeria. This outfit, this is Ankara. This is traditional Nigerian attire. But,
it's very derogatory that he even said that. Like, it's out of like, I can't even use it's beyond microaggressive. It's just very, very ignorant and very.
And I took it as that. I was like, okay, so like, let me give him that grace, all right? I educated him, moved on. The very second interaction with Jake, we was going down to the table, the trust ceremony. Jake says, oh, wow, Tolú, you look so good. You look like a piece of chocolate I just want to take a bite of. I said...
So now we're sexualizing
So now I'm sexual chocolate. First I was a Wakanda warrior. Now I'm sexual chocolate. Okay. Then let's continue on. There was another incident that they did not air when me and Winnie were by the pool. Jake was with Julie. We were all together, but me and Winnie were talking. Jake and Julie were talking. So me and Winnie, we was a kikiing, like, girl, like, just so excited that we were both Nigerian and talking about our heritage. Then we started speaking Pidgin English, which is a form of English that is traditionally spoken in Nigeria. So we started speaking Pidgin English, and then Jake, who is not even in this conversation, opens his dirty ass mouth and says, oh, are y'all speaking that Unga Bunga shit? I said, did this dude just say unga boonga? Like, did he just call me a racial slur? Because unga boonga is a racial slur.
Yes, it felt like it was. It felt like it was a derogatory description of the language. Yes,
that's literally what it is. There's no language called unga boonga. Like,
yes,
that is
exactly.
a derogatory. I said, this man just called me a racial slur.
Yes.
And then fast forward to the table when he goes, oh, and I got my two African queen sisters over here. It was at that point that I was like, all right. So now I'm Wakanda warrior. I'm
Oh my God.
I'm chocolate you want to eat. I speak in unga boonga shit. Now I'm your one of two, mind you. Everybody else, they got like we got a cowboy with a heart of gold. We got a teacher with this. Everybody else got an individual thing about it. But then it came to me and Winnie, who are very different people. We are very different. He groups us together and says, my two African queen sisters. And even in that moment, I was like, every single interaction with this man, my race, my ethnicity, my skin color is involved. This is no longer like he just sees that you wear African clothes. It's like, no, this man does not see me as me. This man sees me as one of the two black girls in the house. One
He's
of
reductive.
the two African girls in the house. Precisely. And then even people are like, he was complimenting your heritage. I said no, because even if he wanted to compliment my heritage, how many times have I told him I'm Nigerian?
And that's not a compliment.
And it's not exactly.
Nothing you just mentioned was a compliment.
If the person feels complimented. That is what makes a compliment. If the person that you are talking about feels complimented, then it is a compliment. If they do not feel complimented, guess what, baby? It is not a compliment.
Yes. And I agree. It's about consent. Like let's be real. If you can't give someone a comment and decide for them how they should receive it. That's not how it works.
Precisely.
If you, and I noticed, I went back and watched, and I'm like, okay, so why didn't we call him Chopper Man? He's got how many tattoos of his marine stuff, of his
helicopter.
chopper? Right. Why didn't you, would it not have been ignorant for you to point at his tattoo in another language and ask him, what does that say? I mean, you weren't asking him questions about his body, his choice of what he had on there, what it meant. You weren't like, hey, white boy, white marine, whitey,
Exactly. Because
white chocolate.
I didn't see you as a white man. I just saw you as Jake. You are Jake, regardless of your skin color, regardless of you are just Jake. Gasper is Gasper. Brian is Brian. Y'all are not the collective white men in my eyes.
But you did act like them. Yeah, once I could blindfold myself and know.
For sure.
As soon as you put yourself at the front of the line, Jake, he's white.
Oh.
He's and
that's why I said we should all aspire to have the confidence of a
absolutely.
straight white man. Because who else would put themselves at the front of the line for every single category other than someone who thinks very highly of themselves? Who would think that highly of themselves? Someone who has the privilege to live in a world that works specifically for them. Like, the world is designed and operated around you, around white men. Let's be real, let's be honest. You start with a head start than all of us. So of course you have the confidence to think that you're greater, grander, better than you are, because you have very few people letting you know that, oh, I'm sorry, Jakey Poo, you're really not that. You're not as great as you think. Really not
and if you want to talk about, fine. I accept the fact that some men truly want stereotypical gender roles. They want to be the provider. They want to be in their masculinity. Okay, if that's you, then why are you condescending to women? Why are you putting people down? Why aren't you going into protector and everyone around you, you want to feel seen and heard? Because that's true masculinity. True masculinity to me is actually about providing, making people feel safe. And so if you're not that, but you want to claim everything else, you're not the man that you think you are. You're homophobic, you're racist, you're sexist, you're ableist. Let's talk about it. You shouldn't have been on this fucking show.
I don't know why he was on it. Let's be real.
And that's the thing. They put him on there for confrontations. I saw the same thing happen when I watched a show called Survive the Raft. They pick a couple people who are just, extreme with their views for controversy, and then it ends up landing with people who are already looking for a reason to criticize you. You're a black woman in America. That you don't need extra reasons for people to criticize you, yet they give you an edit and they put you in the house with someone who's reductive, and here we are.
Yep, and then I have all these people in my comments, in my DMs, just reminding me that, oh, you ain't shit. You're just an immigrant black woman. I'm like, well, yeah, that's it. That's what I said. but guess what? Now I'm an immigrant black woman walking away with $73.6 thousand. So
$73.6.
$73.6 thousand.
I was so happy that you walked away with the extra 25 too. Like I was like,
yeah.
Thank God, because 50 wouldn't be enough for even the trauma in the house.
No.
Like,
yeah.
No.
All the stress that I went through, I was like, yeah, this $25K is consider this pain and suffering. Back home to my parents. Fuck you guys. I don't care about y'all. I'm not gonna let y'all take portions of it. No, I'm gonna take.
Can I ask you? Have they given you the money yet? Like, can you share that? Are they quick with the money? Are they still holding out like Squid Games?
No. They paid us last month. They paid us last month.
Like
so I made a video. I'm gonna post it. I gotta finish editing it. Editing is like the bane of my existence. But once I edited it, I'm gonna post it out hopefully next week. And it was so cute. Oh my god.
I am so excited. So, no. Okay, wait.
Goobers.
So you and Winnie connected day one, right? Like tell me about you and Winnie, because this is like the French. This is the real point of the trust. This is the friendship, the best friend love story. Like, I want to hear about when you guys first connected and your friendship in the house.
So Winnie and I, honestly, we first okay, so walking out, we all walked out on the cliff one by one. And me and Gasper were the first two. So, I was the very first one to walk out the house. So as I'm standing around looking at everybody, I'm just like, okay, I got an old lady. Okay, I got Julie. She seems around my age. Okay, we got Black Hawk. We got the dude with the buzz cut and the helicopter tattoo. All right. What's going on? This is an interesting group of people. And then the very last person to walk down in her bright pink stilettos, just towering over all of us. Winnie came down. I was like, oh my god. I was like, sister? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I was really excited to see another black woman just because
Absolutely.
I didn't want to be the token black girl in the house. So I was just excited to see another black woman because I know that we can have like a shared experience. Like, there's gonna be so much in common. Like, I could probably use some of her makeup. Like, it was gonna be great. So
all across the board.
Literally. So we didn't get a chance to talk while we were on the cliff because we were listening to Brooke. Then once we left the cliff and went up into the house, immediately we just met like a magnet, went to each other. And then I saw that she had Africa tatted right here, and she saw my Africa earrings and my outfit. She goes, "Are you Nigerian?" I go, "I am Nigerian." "Are you Nigerian?" She goes, "I am Nigerian." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Where do you live? You from New York?" I was like, "No, I live in Houston." She's like, "I live in Houston." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" We were two Nigerians from Houston. Immediately, it was in that moment we were like, "Oh, baby, we are locked in. Like, we are super locked in." Then from there, it progressed so naturally because we understood each other, especially coming from a very similar cultural background. Like, for example, when everybody was trying to paint me and Winnie as the villains, especially Winnie, and they were trying to villainize her, literally the only thing is, Winnie is very much a direct kind of person. You never have to guess where you stand with her because she is going to let you know, which is amazing.
Which I love.
Because if she was a man, that would be a trait that is praised.
Honest,
right?
loyal,
straightforward leadership shit. that is something that would be praised, but because it's coming from a woman, it's like, oh, how dare you not be soft and flowery for me? How dare you be straightforward? So that was why it was so easy to villainize her. But for me, she was direct, straightforward, and I was like, I love this. This is refreshing, and I understand that. Like, I am receptive to this kind of interactions, because coming from a Nigerian household, like, maybe they're very straightforward. They're gonna tell you like it is. So it didn't hurt my feelings. I was like, yes, I like that. Let me know about myself, and I will let you know about yourself. And that's how we just like, and then as we progressed along this show, like, a lot of times people would, like, a lot of the people in the house, because we spent so much time together, and it's literally because we were just like talking about life. She's sharing things with me that she's never shared with anyone else before. I'm telling her things that I've never told people. We're just like just talking about life and like planning life outside the show. Like, oh my God, we're both from Houston. I can't wait. Oh, we should move in together. We should do this. We should do that.
Cute.
Like, we're just excited. And then everybody is gonna look at us like, oh, they're together.
What are they planning?
They're plotting. And I was like, we were just planning like what we're gonna eat when she comes and visits my parents in Houston, bro. Like, relax.
Like, we just talked about where we're gonna go get juice, and we want to move in together. Like, maybe chill.
Like, literally just chill. And so our friendship and our relationship progressed so naturally, so beautifully. That's why, like, people ask me, are you an actress? When Winnie left and you were crying, were you acting? I was like, no. Oh
my gosh, people have said some wild, absolutely wild stuff to you.
And I was like, what? Does that look like acting? I wish I was that good of an actress, because I don't know, Paramount, Sony, Tyler Perry, one of y'all come and hire me, because obviously I got the tea like that. Like, yes. For real. It's like, no, those were real fucking
Like, if I was good
tears.
at that skill, like, I would be in movies, okay?
Yeah,
so bye.
You think I'd be on reality TV, baby? I'd be on some scripted shit.
100. Okay, wait, and was it scripted? Let's go there really quick. Was it scripted?
No, not even an ounce of it was scripted. Everything was real, raw, authentic. People be like, your monologues seem so scripted. I was like, no, I just talk a lot. Like, that's just how I talk. And they're like, Tolú, you speak in parables. I was like, that's just how I talk. And as a Nigerian, we use a lot of, like, what are the words? Similes and metaphors in our speech. So, like, I that's just naturally how I talk. Like I said, the lion versus the sheep. Like, you know, that's just me. And so the show was...
You give examples. I love it. I think it's easy to follow, because I'm there with you. I'm like, oh, now I can... Okay, like, I get the reference.
Another perspective. I get it now.
Exactly that.
Like, y'all know the show was so 1000% real. I would say the only thing, nothing was scripted. There were some elements of it that were pushed. Like, for example, the apology scene, like the conversation between me and Jake was definitely pushed. Because, like, honestly, what I was gonna do, I wasn't gonna talk to that fool, and I was just gonna have a huge blowout at the round table right before voting, and everybody was already locked and loaded, and he was gonna be outie 5,000. And you know, they were like, you should really talk to him, let him know how you feel, have a conversation. I was like, I don't want to. And then I guess then Julie tells Jake to come talk to me, and then that forces me to have this conversation, and then that's the scene that everybody saw. And I'm like, y'all are getting at me for this. This was literally a conversation I didn't even want to have. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to talk to somebody and ask them, please don't just see me as my race? That's not a fun, comfortable conversation. Like, I'm so excited to do it. But I, like, obviously, you know, I had to have the conversation. I saw it was necessary to let him know, like, hey, look, I recognize that you're trying to be complimentary, but I'm not taking it as that. So just...
If you walked around that house and even made comments like, we don't need the military, defund the troops, do you know what Jake would have said or done? To act like certain comments wouldn't be triggering to him or reductive of him or dismissive or misidentify.
I'm not going to externalize it, because there's a time and a place, and I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to just keep my opinions to myself.
And that's exactly it. It's not hard to do that. And this is what annoys me. If Jake played the game the same way that you and he did, like, he did play the game the same way, like, every single person who was like, well, I just trust everybody and I won't be voting anybody out. At a certain point,
Bullshit.
cards change. They change their definition of who they trusted. We're a society that's always getting new information. If you blanket statement say, I trust you beginning to end, and they do something and show you themselves that's not trustworthy, what do you expect? How do you, That would be like if you guys kept Jewels. Okay, yeah, you can stay. You're lied right away off the bat. You'll be good. Bye. Like critical thinking
talk
skills.
About Jewels? Oh my gosh, I still get so much hate over Jewels, and I'm like, if y'all so damn pressed, please go give him some money. Like, obviously y'all are so pressed. Leave me the fuck alone. Go give Jewels the money you so dearly thinks that he deserved. But real life, logically speaking, like why did I vote off Jewels? Or my vote didn't count, but like, why did we as a collective vote off Jewels? Because contrary to what a lot of people have been saying, I was not the catalyst for the let's get Jewels out party. No. Right. It was a conversation that was had amongst all of the women, because all the women recognize that, look, the men are obviously not playing. We're trying to play this game for real. We're not going to sit around, wait to get shot at. No. So how do we feel about everybody in the house? And this is after the very first day, after the bonfire, the first bonfire challenge thing. Like, we all got in the house and we spoke. This is me, Winnie, Julie, Mama J, and Lindsay. All of us together. We're like, how do we feel about everybody? We went around the horn. We're like, we feel this. And then when it came to Jewels, every single one of us, all five, was like, there's something about that guy it's just screaming like he's lying about something. But we don't know what he's lying about. Like, we knew Bryce was lying, but we knew, like, we knew that Bryce was lying, and we knew what he was lying about. So we had all the information. Just tuck that into the back of our neck and deal with that when we need to. But other than that, he seems very harmless. Jewels was an unknown. We know that he's lying, but we don't know what he's lying about. That's freaking scary in a game of trust. Like, how can we trust you if we already know that you're lying and you're not coming outright about what it is you're lying about? We just know that you're lying. So it was that very first night, right after the bonfire, we're like, oh, this dude's lying about something. We don't trust that. So
he acted like a narc.
He literally acted like a narc.
He picked the worst profession to say he was, because it's polar opposite of who he was, and he didn't fit the type that seemed like a dancer for exotic club. He seemed,
and that was the thing. Like, even, we have nothing against strippers, baby.
No, I love them, but you're not one. You are stiff ass over here.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I have friends that are literal dancers, men and women and men. I have friends that are dancers. Yes. Baby, you do not give me that. You give me, like, there was just something weird about him. Like, yes, you got your buttons out and your titties are glistening, but aside from that, you don't even give me like
fun or like
fun dance. Like, I would hire you for a bachelorette party. I wouldn't. So what are you lying about? What are you lying about? And it was in that very first night, before he even went into the vault. That very first night, all of us were like, all right, so obviously the men aren't trying to do anything. We don't want to be sitting ducks. We have to strike first. Who are we going to strike at? And all of us said Jewels. And we all left that room agreeing that very first trust ceremony, we're voting off Jewels. Then he goes into the vault. Then it's that whole thing. And then he goes into the vault, says he had to take away two people's voting powers. So he didn't make a choice. The sign on the wall made the choice, completely eliminating any responsibility from himself. So I'm like, baby, even if our names were in a certain order, at the end of the day, you made the choice to
that order didn't bother you. Because if your name was in that order, would you have done it?
Because his name was at the bottom. Your name was at the bottom, so it's very convenient that you're like, oh, I'm going to just let the wall decide. I didn't do anything. We're just going to let the wall decide. And
Agreed.
even then, there were 2 rows. You could have did the first name on the left row, the first name on the right row. No, you did the first 2 names on the right.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
Everything
make
is a
it
choice.
Make sense.
It made no sense, because even Simone in the vault, she's like, I don't know how Tolu's gonna feel about it. He's like, well, she's just gonna have to understand. I'm like, see, that's stupid, because if you really was going in with a strategy, you would think about, okay, you know what, I don't want to piss, if I truly am trying to garner the trust of everybody, I don't want to piss off any certain kind of individual. And if I feel like this kind of individual would take it in a way that I don't intend, let me choose somebody who's going to take it in a way that I do intend. You could have chose Jake. You could have chose Gasper. You could have chose Brian. Like, there were so many people. No, you made the choice to choose. You could have chose your damn self. Actually, because that wasn't against the rules. You could have chose your damn self. Why didn't you take away your voting power, Jewel? Since you
be a martyr then, Jewels. You know what I mean? Like, pick yourself then. Do it.
Wouldn't that
Pick
have made
yourself.
us trust you more if you're like, look, went into the room, it
take
wouldn't
one
have
for
been
the
fair
team.
to take away anybody's voting power, so I just decided to take away my voting power, because I don't even intend on voting anyway, and I just want to show you guys that I trust y'all, and I hope you can trust me too. Baby, that would have changed everything.
Jewels, you would have still been there. You would have been there at the end of the game.
You would have still been there. For real. But no, you wanted to be sneaky and conniving, and that is your reward for sneakiness and connivingness. And how do I know? And people are like, oh, he was so honest. You're such a terrible person. You voted off the only black man. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. Jewels did a podcast. I call it a podcast for losers, because it's with a Squid Games member who was eliminated very early on. So he did a podcast, and in his podcast, the guy asked him, they were like, oh, so were you going to vote? He was like, absolutely. He's like, I just didn't think anybody would vote on the very first go round, so I didn't want to place a vote on the very first one, but I was going to vote the next time. And the guy was like, oh, really? Who are you going to vote for? And he goes, Tolú.
Bye.
This is the man y'all wanted me to protect? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
I can't. So, Jewels, it's everything to do because you lied. It has everything to do with because you can't separate yourself from being a narc. Like, it was the most narc-like behavior ever to pick the opposite of what you are and just not be fun. And to be honest, I wouldn't pay that much money for Jewels to dance with me. I'm going to be honest.
I wouldn't pay a damn thing. Like, hey, Brian, Gasper, and Bryce to dance at my bachelorette party, especially Bryce, because I just feel like he could move a little bit. You know what I mean?
He's lanky. But he's got the arms like a little, a little. Woo. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Bryce would have moves. Jewels and Jake, nah, baby, y'all got it. Y'all think y'all are finer than you are, please.
And that's a problem. I also want to say briefly too, I've noticed that in reality television, they specifically save who's allowed to be a villain for white men. And to just give an example of a few, Johnny Bananas, Johnny Fairplay, West from the Challenge. So if you like him, you love white villains. You love white men who are villains.
It seems like the only villains that are allowed to be likable are white men. And then if you're a villain and you don't fit into the category of white and man, you are automatically just demonized in the same way that me and Winnie and Julie and Lizzie was a villain, but like.
And Ashley Tolbert from Squid Games and Felicia from Squid Games had them on my podcast. Transparent. The misogynoir is loud. The tendency to ask black women to diminish their what? I don't even know what to say. They want black women to not try hard. They don't want black women to try hard to win things. Like,
they want black women to serve a purpose, and that purpose is to serve everybody else. They don't want black women to make decisions that serve themselves.
That's it.
That's what the issue is. But
that's it.
Y'all found a black woman that, again, does not give a fuck about everybody else and the masses. Like, no, I am in the business of serving myself, serving my own happiness, serving my own life. And that's period. And you know what? In this world, if I'm gonna be villainized for it, and mind you, in my real life, I am literally the biggest sweetheart. Like
You're the nicest person.
Literally, I'm literally the nicest, like, biggest sweetheart. But you know what? If me making a decision that benefits solely myself, it makes me worthy of being demonized and being a villain, then by all means, I am okay with that.
And for 20 minutes of your life, for 20 fucking minutes of your life, you put yourself first on it with the camera present, and God forbid, as you said, that's one of the first moments where you're putting yourself first and not people pleasing, and you work hard to get here, and you're gonna make me feel bad when you don't know me, know my story, know my family. No.
Heavy on that.
I hope that people can, like, take a breath from reality TV, because we seriously see such limited portions of people's personality, and there's no part in me that thinks that who I see someone be on television is a full representation of who they are. Even Jake, precisely. I wouldn't feel that way about him had I not gone to his social media and then scroll down. Okay, everybody I'm willing to give. Same with Gasper and Brian. I'm like, let me just see how they've been, and it's like, okay, well, they've been pretty respectful for the most part of what I've seen. So, you know, it's not like an all men thing that I have an issue with, but I got distracted and I don't know what I was saying there, but
but like, yeah, everybody, you give everybody that grace of, like, you know what, I'm seeing you in the 1 hour that they decide to show within the 72 hours of the life that you've lived. I'm going to give you that grace because I recognize that I don't have the full picture yet. So let me see the picture that you paint. Let me go look at that and use that as a tool to judge a little bit more accurately. And Jake, you see the picture that he paints, and
what else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about Simone and why she left and Mama J? Like, what else do you want to see? What else do you want to talk about from the show?
I can talk about everything. We really just touched on, like, I really wanted to talk about the African Queen thing because everybody gets on my ass about that. I'm like, especially Black women that say that, it really hurts my feelings, especially because I'm like, you of all people should know what a microaggression is. So why would you get at me for that? Like, whatever. And then I wanted to talk about the Jewels thing because people were getting on me for that. But everything else, girl, now it's whatever you want to hear me say, I'm with it.
I love that for us. Okay, so Simone, did she go home because she placates to the men? What's the sitch? Like, why'd she get sent home? Or did she leave? I don't even remember.
No, Simone pretty much, that was why she went home. It was, so Julie voted for Simone because she thought that Mama J was potentially going to vote for Jake, and Simone was the person that she had the least, like, relationship with, so she placed, like, a neutralizer vote in case Mama J voted for Jake. She used Simone, and then worst case scenario, if Simone goes home, Julie's okay with that. And then Mama J ended up voting not for Jake, she ended up voting for Simone. Why? Because, like you said, Mama J recognized that amongst all the women, Simone was the only one who just had a thirst for male validation.
Internalized misogyny, just
like a big thirst for male validation, and Mama J recognized that. And then we all saw it, but we were just like, okay, girl, do what you want to do. But Mama J was like, no, this is very dangerous, because
yes, it is.
If we're trying to create, like, a girls' alliance, having a woman who is so hungry for male acceptance, it will be detrimental to us. And then there was a comment where Mama J had said something like, something about misogyny, and Simone was like, you don't speak for me, speak for yourself.
I remember that.
Like, bitch.
Didn't you, like, didn't you just mark yourself some, like, as an ally a few minutes ago, Simone? Like, What's
So
happening
that
there?
really pissed her off. And Mama J is the biggest girl's girl. Like, she is the biggest
She's
girl's
true.
girl. So she's true. Like, I would say the truest people were me, Winnie, and Mama J. The biggest
100%.
girl's girl. And so Mama J saw that. She was like, this girl's not a girl's girl. And I hate a non-girl's girl more than the men that, like,
Same.
look down on us. Because
Same.
it's like, okay, they're men. They're whatever. They look down on us. But as a
Mm-hmm.
woman...
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, we're coming from the same place, and you're still gonna give me that kind of reception? Nah, she wasn't going for that. So she voted for Simone, and like I understand her reasoning behind it. I completely
Same.
get it. And a lot of the men, after they found out that Mama J voted for Simone, they were like, she was an angel. How dare you? You're such a how dare somebody vote off this sweet angel? And I'm like, it's so funny how you guys like to give these titles of angelic and sweetie and whatever to women that are your allies, or to women that do what you want to do, like Simone, like Julie. Those were the angels because they were acting in accordance to what you believe a woman should be acting, right?
Yes.
The rest of us that were just free thinking and like, look, we're thinking for ourselves, whether you want us to behave this way or not, we're thinking for ourselves. We're not angels. We're what did they call us? We need to be culled from the herd. We are demons. We are poison. We are just all of this derogatory terminology when at the end of the day, we're doing the exact same things that y'all are doing. Y'all are thinking for yourselves. You're acting according to your beliefs and how you feel is right. That's the same thing that we're doing. So why are you
praised for it
and we are demonized for it?
Absolutely.
And then you praise the women that act in accordance to how you believe a woman should act, and demonize those of us who don't. But yeah,
when
so
really we're playing the same way that you're playing, but you want us to be submissive and play for you, which isn't happening. Play for you.
Precisely.
You really want me to make you more comfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's what they were asking of you. Okay, Mama J, she left. Why did she leave?
So, Mama J. So actually, they didn't show the full reason why Mama J left. So what was so crazy is, Mama J got her vault key after the poker game, right? What was crazy is right before the poker game, because we didn't know that there was going to be a poker game. We thought that night we were supposed to have a trust ceremony. So we thought it was going to be a trust ceremony, and we were surprised by a poker game. And so before then, at this point, that's when the female alliance, like, it's crumbling. Julie is with the guys. And then, what's her name? Stupid bitch. Lindsay, sorry. Lindsay
I can't with Lindsay. Yes.
She saw that Julie's with the guys, and she's like, ooh, I want to align with the white folks. I want to align with the guys. Sorry, let me not say that. People are going to get at me. Please don't put that part. They were going to get at me. Like,
I'll take that part out.
Lindsay saw that Julie was with the guys and was like, oh, I also want to align with this side. And so all that was left was me, Mama J, and Winnie. Now, in the house, obviously me and Winnie, we were besties. Julie and Jake, they were that. Gasper and Brian, they were that. And then in the house, it was Mama J and Lindsay that had the close. They were the besties. Like, they had the closest relationship, and they lived in the same room too. They were roommates, so they were closest. So Mama J really, and then Lindsay, we thought that was our girl. She was part of this alliance, hands down. We suspected, but we weren't sure until Jake pulls out that card in the poker games, like, who's your biggest ally? He puts Lindsay down. We're like, oh, okay. That solidifies everything.
And she got mad at that, right?
Yeah, she got mad at that. But before that poker game, there was a scene where, so Mama J was in the room with Lindsay talking about whatever, and then they were talking about the boys, like, what are our plans for, like, how are we going to vote? So talking about the boys, and she was talking about it with Lindsay. Then Lindsay gets up, and they were talking in their room. Then, like, right after the conversation, Lindsay gets up, And then Mama J sees her walk straight into the boys' room. Mama J was like, huh? So in that moment, she's like, oh, she recognized, like, oh, Lindsay is playing for the boys' side, even though she's claiming that she's with us. So then Mama J comes to our room, and then she comes to me and Winnie, because we're getting dressed in the bathroom. And, Julie was out by this time. So it's just me and Winnie. And she goes, can I ask you girls a question? And can you promise to be 100% truthful to me? Like, please, I want to ask you a question. I want you guys to be 100% straightforward with me. And we were like, of course. Like, when are we not straightforward with you, MJ? Like, what's up? And she goes, are you guys really my friends? And we were like,
oh yes, I remember this. Maybe like I was like, oh.
We were like, of course we're your friends. Why would you ask that? She goes, and she starts crying. She goes, are you guys sure you're really my friends, or were you just acting this entire time? And we were like, oh yeah, no, because Lindsay, our relationship is so real. Why would you say that? She's like, I just had a conversation with Lindsay, and I saw her get up and go straight and tell the boys everything we just said. So obviously she's been faking her relationship with me this whole time. And I want to know if you guys are also faking your relationship with me. She was crying.
That's so fucking sad.
We started crying. We're like, MJ, no, we love you. Like 1000%, you are our girl. I look at Winnie was like, you're like my grandmother. You literally remind me of my grandma. I was like, MJ, you are the baddest bitch in this house, and I always align with bad bitches. What do you mean? And so we all three of us were just crying. We're like, no, we love you. Like, you are really our girl, and none of this is fake. And so then we go into the poker game, and then she gets the least amount of chips. Then she gets sent to the vault. Then they give her the option. And at that point, MJ realizes, she's like, look, this house is it's divided in a way that it doesn't seem like it's going to benefit her. The boys are already demonizing her. She was definitely probably going to be the next person to be voted out, because Jake was already on a whole rampage of Mama J, she's a wild card, we can't trust her, she just throws around votes for no reason. First and foremost, she's not a senile old lady. She had a fucking reason. Just because it was a reason that you didn't agree with, it was a fucking reason, and it was her reason. She's not wild and just doing whatever. And so when they gave her that offer, she was like, yeah. And she was already so stressed and having so much like emotional distress and anxiety in the house. Like, I can't tell you how much we cried right before that poker table. She was like, yeah, I'm ready to go home. So she took the money and left. And it literally was because right before that scene, she found out that Lindsay was a snake.
Lindsay the fucking snake. Lindsay is a snake. She is a snake. She made me so mad in the show. And granted, as a viewer, we're seeing her play both sides, but she was very hard for me to watch. It was very much Karen vibes. It was very, get this bitch off my TV. Get her out.
Oh, that scene where after Winnie is gone and she had the gall and the audacity, and she felt very emboldened to say to me that I must get up because she wants to have a conversation with the men, so I need to get my little black ass up and go walk into the house. I said, wow. Oh, you really
That's
showed
a Karen.
Your ass. You really showed your ass.
She did. She did. Her and Simone.
I was like, there would never, ever, ever be a moment, like, even if things worked out the way that I wanted it to and all the women were in the house and there was just a few men, I would never in my life, ever try to go out of my way to make anybody in the house feel uncomfortable or feel less than. And for you
and you
to
didn't.
Say and I didn't. Never. Even when the whole house was against me, I still didn't.
Not once did you do that. Not once. Not one time.
Because I recognize, like, I'm a person who, I was bullied so severely when I was younger. Like, I was bullied to the point where I got jumped because people were just, growing up in Brooklyn back in the early 2000s was a completely different monster. And like, being an immigrant and being so proud of the fact that, like, yeah, you know what, I'm from another country. Like, kids just find any excuse to label you as an other and to make you feel less than. So I was bullied so like like beat up, jumped like so hard when I was younger. So I know how that feels, to feel othered, to feel less than, to feel like you don't belong. And I made it my goal from a young age. I will never in my life want to make anybody feel like that, ever. And so for when Lindsay did that scene, it immediately took me back to when I used to get bullied in grade school.
Yes.
And I was just triggered. I was like,
yes,
is this real life? So I just went upstairs to my room. I was
yes.
like, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue with this lady. I'm just go up to my room, eat my breakfast, cry a little bit off camera, and then come back and tell her about herself.
And that's what people don't like. It's this real like gap between people understanding that reality television isn't a safe or great space for Black women. It's not. I mean, I'm watching Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Different, all Black cast, all Black producers, a little bit different. But when you're in a white space, like the fact that you don't even have someone to have your back, or to just have that understanding that that this is triggering, this is microaggressive, this is hurtful, and there's nobody, you know, besides Winnie sitting there that shares your same experience of not having the privilege of being white or being a white man. You know, it's isolating. It's not fair that you are already feeling so drained, and they cut out all the little scenes like that, and then it's just you know, like, well, why are they working so hard together? And it's like, because other people have other people did isolate you too by doing that. They very much made it seem like it's women versus men, and only certain women. Because it was you, Mama J, and Winnie. And then Simone and Julie placated to the men. And so did Lindsay.
Yep, precisely. And then what's really funny is, like, even amongst the house, like, the house wasn't as polarized in real life as the show made it seem. Like, even despite all of that, me, like, especially me, I spoke to everybody. Everybody. There were so many times it was just me and Gasper having conversations. They didn't really show that, but me and Gasper we were really close in the house. Me and Gasper having conversations. Me and Brian having conversations. Me teaching him a little, you know, I'm gonna teach you some slang so that you go back to your farm with some new vocab. Like, they didn't show all of that. Like, despite the fact that there were a lot of times where, you know, I felt like, okay, I don't think these people 1000% understand me or get where I'm coming from, but I'm still gonna make the conscious effort to still put myself out there and allow them to know all the different parts of me. But you know, a lot of that gets cut out, so you don't get to see friendly Tolú. You see me being sassy, me being spicy, me being snappy, and then the viewers just take that as, oh, this is who she is. This is all that she is. Not recognizing, again, that this is a TV show. It's very edited, so you're only able to see what they allow you to see. And oftentimes, one episode spans over the course of like 3 days. So you're getting 1 hour of the whole 72 hours that was lived. You're missing 71 of the hours.
Literally. And then they're even taking that hour and then they're jumbling it and re-editing it so that things happen in different orders. So it's not really like we're there with you. It's not like we know you. And it's not even like you can act a true representation of yourself when you're in an uncomfortable situation on camera. It's all new, you know what I mean? So this is naturally going to make people not truly be themselves anyways. To think that we know people is a joke, you know, it really is.
Precisely.
Okay, so I feel like I've talked about pretty much everything I want to talk about. Not everything, so we'll have to have you come back, okay? And we'll have to do another episode sometime where we talk about life, we talk about what you have going on, we talk about fun stuff that might be coming up, all of that.
The only thing, I will say, you know, I'm based in Houston, but I am going to be moved or not. I don't know, it's not a permanent move, but I will be like temporarily relocating to LA. Like, I don't know how long yet, But yeah, I'm going to LA next month, so your girl's gonna be in California, girls.
I love it. I'm so excited for you.
I'm just
Are you?
praying that more opportunities like come from
Yes.
being that city and just
They
praying good
will.
things.
Remember, you told me to speak it into existence. More
They
opportunities will
will.
come when you're
I
in
love
that
that.
city. Yes,
Because I'm
you
always
told
the
me
one who
that.
says that. Yes, you're right. More opportunity. Girl, I
They
love. Ooh, you
will
just
come when you
poured
get
into
there.
me. More
Yes.
opportunities will come. I'm so excited. I'm going to take that
You
city
poured
by
into me the other
storm.
day. Like Tolu says this, like I was on the phone with Tolu and she said, "No, you have to say this will happen." And I literally wrote it down and I've been telling myself this on repeat between our call. Like that.
Oh my gosh, that makes me happy. Because there's so much power in the tongue. There's
Yeah, and I've
so
never
much
heard
power in
that. I mean,
the
I've
tongue.
heard people say like manifest, but just simply like
No, screw
re-saying what you said.
manifestation.
I can't do that.
Speak it. Yes, screw manifestation. Screw that. Speak the life that you want out from your mouth and it will happen. I kid you not, ever since I started like taking that seriously, because I started thinking like that in college, and once I really started like, you know what? No, I need to speak the life that I want into
Yes.
existence. When I tell you my life went 180, because I used to say things like, oh no, that could never happen. That could never happen. And guess what? It didn't
Mm-hmm.
happen. And then once
Self-doubt.
I start,
Mm-hmm.
yes, once I started saying like, oh no, I'm gonna eat this. No, this is gonna happen. No, this is going to be mine. Everything literally just started coming to me. And then even the stuff that I'm like, no, this is gonna be mine. If it didn't happen, I was like, you know what? That's okay because something better is gonna come up. And something better always came up. So yes,
Yes.
girl.
And who
Power in
are
the
we to
tongue.
doubt? Like, who are we to doubt when things happen, if things are, like,
Mm-hmm.
who are we to self doubt ourselves ahead of an opportunity even coming? You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
you've got this. When you're in
Yes.
LA, you will be booked, you will be busy, you are always
Yes.
beautiful, so that won't change. But
Oh!
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for
I
you.
love that. That just that made my spirit so happy. I claimed that
Yay!
energy. That made me so
I
happy.
love that. That's a great way to end our episode. Everybody, try to like bottle up what me and Tolu have going on right now.
Not
You're
for
lucky. No, like
real.
you're so lucky you got to listen to all of this. Make sure you're following Tolu. Watch where she ends up and just how much success is coming for her. Send love. If you've been a hater and you change your mind now,
Yeah.
send a message and be that person that's like, I was so wrong, I'm sorry, I love, like, send some love, like,
Yeah.
accountability, people. If you change your mind and you're listening to this, let me know, let her know, like, be nice.
And I love those
Right?
messages. Those messages literally make my life. I'm like, thank you. And I always tell them like, thank you for watching with an open mind. They're like, oh, I hated
Absolutely.
you the first 2, 3 episodes, but you grew on me and I liked you. I loved you at the end. I was like, thank you for
Thank
watching
you.
with an open mind.
Truly.
And yeah, I was kind of annoying the first 2 episodes, so I understand. But
Hey,
thank
we're
you for
multifaceted. We can be
that
annoying, but we can be
part.
fun. Ah, it's both. It's both.
Heavy. I'm
Yes.
annoying, but I'm still likable. Like, come on.
And I'm smart, but I'm also ditzy, and I smoke, but I'm also,
Yeah,
hey,
no, all of that, baby. 420.
all of
Oh
it.
my gosh, if we ever meet in person,
I
that's
can't
going
wait.
to be glorious. It's going to
I
be.
can't
Come
wait.
visit me in LA, baby. We will go to a dispensary so quick.
I will. Okay, and come to
Yeah.
Jersey because I get mine delivered right to the house. Like,
Join
it's
me,
huge.
baby. Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
And then,
I'm so excited.
okay. I'm excited. Everybody, have a great day. Thank you for listening to us. Tolu, will you plug your Instagram and all of your platforms one more time?
Yes, yes, yes. So you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, everywhere. It's all Tolú Ekundare. That's TOLUEKUNDARE. You can follow me, guys.
Hit that
Give
follow
me love.
button.
I love you
Give
back.
love all of you. Thank you for listening to our episode. Send love. Have a great day.
Have an amazing, amazing day. I love you.